We're now starting the very last chapter that you have for this class, and that's chapter 11, and it's the Merchandising Corporation Payroll. This does have a data file that needs to be downloaded. And so I've done that already. The only thing I haven't gone in to do, if y'all haven't remembered, is gone in and edit the name to make sure that I've got my name on it for the reports. But this is just going to be a very quick chapter. And again, I want to say this now. You don't have to do any exercises at the end of the chapter. It's only going to be the work in the chapter. Okay, so once you get this downloaded and opened up, you're going to find out it's just doing some payroll information for this corporation. Okay, so we're going to now start on 11.4. Now they do ask us at first to actually because we're going to have a bank loan, we're going to need to get some cash in this bank. You're going to create a new loan with the chart of accounts. Again, steps you've learned in the past, so I don't have to redo this with you. But you go to your chart of accounts and again select new. So with the note payable then set up as the other current liability, you're going to record the deposit so that you can record the $4,000 that you just received. So you're going into the checking account. Again, watch your date. You'll have to put in the date again. We're working in 2021. And as we start, when we set up the liability, we're dealing with 21-2021. Okay. And select from account, and this is where you should have set up your, down here, your note payable, National Bank. Okay. Enter 4,000. Right. And you can print it. You don't need to print the deposit summary, so you can just then hit save and close, which is out of you couldn't see at the bottom of the screen. QuickBooks tells you a little bit about the different payroll services that they offer. So again, if you're a real business, you may choose to have QuickBooks do an enhanced payroll or even the full service payroll. But what we're going to do here is we're just going to learn how to manually calculate payroll ourselves. So again, we have to set this up as preferences. That's going to be our preference. And so we're going to go into Edit Menu, Preferences, Payroll and Employees, Company Preferences, okay, and select Full Payroll, okay, Display by Last Name, and so I'm just following what they're telling me to do, and then I can hit OK. Now, okay, hit OK. Let's close the windows and let that process. Now that once that's processed, here's to enable the manual paycheck entry. It's very important you follow on page 11.7. We're going to go to the Help menu, okay, and it says QuickBooks Help. Once it finally pops up and you have your little search box here, you want to type in Process Payroll Manually, okay, and then click the search icon. So what will pop up is answers in Help Process Manually without a subscription to QuickBooks Payroll. Again, for those entrepreneurs in here, you may want to choose to look more into QuickBooks Payroll if you don't want to do your own payroll or hire Paychex or ADP or your accountant to do it. But here's what we're going to learn: Process Payroll Manual. You'll see it's really not that hard, especially if you have only a few employees. Okay. Once you're in, then we're going to hit Select Set Payroll Calculations. See the little link right here? Select the Manual Payroll Calculations link. Okay. And it's going to say before you go, are you sure you want to set this for manual? Okay, read carefully again, because if you're doing this, you really do need to read through all this carefully. And then once you're okay with everything, you hit Set My Company to Use Manual. That should have popped up in front, but okay. Now it's telling you're going to have to do this which means you're going to set up your employees and everything. So you'll notice on page 11:9, we're going to start with the employee section, employee center. Okay. Sorry about that. I should be on the home page. And so if you ever need to get back to your home page, go to company and just do home page. And you see employees here. Okay. And that's where they ask us to start and select the payroll setup. Okay. So payroll is turned on. So select employees menu up at the top. And we're going to have payroll setup, which is up here. Okay. And it's loading. So I'm going to let that load. When it gets finished loading, you're going to have this setup, and you're going to have to walk through each one of these. And I know you don't want to watch me walk through each one, but we're going to start with the introduction, and I'm going to walk you through a couple of these. Continue, company setup, and you'll hit compensation. And what are we going to have? All three, as they say. No type of commissions or anything, so we hit finish. Okay. Then we'll need to go to employee benefits, and which employee benefits are they going to have you do. If you look, you read my company does not provide insurance benefits, so you can skip past that one. If you go to my insurance, my company does not provide it. Okay. And click continue after you review that and hit finish. Okay. Retirement, my company does not provide that. Okay. Paid time off, my employees do not get paid time off, and you just continue. And I don't think there's anything, did I have anything under miscellaneous? Make sure. We might have donation to charity. You can set that up and click that. And then you can hit next. Okay. At this stage, you don't need a regular payment schedule for this item, so then you can hit finish. Okay. Next is employee setup. So we're going to go to the employee list. And here we're going to start with Will Miles. Now, again, first name first, Will, W-I-L. And can I stress there's only, don't ask me why the book does this, one L with Will. I know we're both usually putting two. We're going to have his last name, but remember I said spelling's important. Okay. He is an active employee. Then we have to put in his home address. So as you can see, I put all of Will's information in, and then I would click next. Then we have to choose what type of employee and that he is, and he's a regular employee. We have to put in his social security number, hire date, release date. You don't want to watch me do this. Now that's in. I hit next, and he gets paid every other week. He is salary, okay, and that's all you need to check for him. His salary amount is $25,000 per year. So they'll do the rest of the work on the payments. You hit next, and he is going to do a charity donation, and he'd like to take out $10. So you're going to put 10 here. Okay. And then you can hit next. Okay. We're going to pay, we leave this unchecked at this point, but if you had employees where you were going to pay for direct deposit, you would do this, but at this point they ask us to leave it all and just hit next. And state subject to California's unemployment tax, again, California. He did not live in another state, so you're okay, and then you can hit next. And you're going to continue doing this. Then we have to put that he's married. See, I kind of finished the rest of that for you. Of course, most of that was checked off, and then you can go to next. You've got California, and again, you're going to have to just follow what they ask you to do here. And so we've got him all completed for his state. Okay. When you get the state wage plan code, then you're going to select from the drop-down menu, and you can see they have state plan, both UI and DI as a choice. That's what you want to choose. And then you're going to hit finished. I think I got everything right there, right? Oh no, I didn't get the tab. Yeah, finished. Okay, then we're going to hit continue. Okay. And I'm not going to walk you through the rest of these, but you can see that you'll just follow the little boxes over the next few pages. Okay. Okay. As I said, I'm not walking you through. You should be setting up the various different 940, 941s, your California payments. Everything should be quarterly. When you finally get to year to date, know you have not issued anything, and then go to the payroll center. Okay. And you should see that you have Will there as your employee. Now let's pay Will. Pay employees. We've got Will. We have to remember to change these dates, and that's going to be for 2-14-2021. Oops, I thought I was putting that in for you. Okay, period ends 2-14-2021. I think that's going to be the same. The check date will be the day after. Okay, you're going to do the checking account. Okay, first check number. Did they give us a check number? I'm surprised they didn't yet. We do know we're going to check off Will. Okay, and then you can see he's salary, so it's going to take care of that, and you can hit continue. Enter the pay period ends on 2/14. Select employees, okay, and hit continue. Okay, and the payroll check detail comes up, and then that's where you can start entering more detailed information. So I've made this bigger, and we can see that he has gross pay and that he has the charity deduction of $10. Now we have to add, do his taxes form. So in the employee summary section, we see we're going to have to enter his taxes. Okay. So we open the paycheck detail. Okay. So salary, charity, federal withholding, right? Minus 75. Oops, somebody put 75 in. I know this is tedious. I'm trying to type with one hand and do this. I was not finished. I should not have hit save and close. Then we got Social Security. We have to put in minus the 60 for the Medicare. We put in minus the 14. Okay. And then in the company section, down here, the company amount, the company owes what? For Social Security. Don't forget the company has to pay their half. If you've taken payroll, you'll understand this. Or if you work, you know that you do one and the company does half. You do one half and the company does the other half. And then you can hit save and close. Okay. And you've got everything, all his deductions out that he can have, and his net pay should be $802.54, and it matches what's in the book. So the next thing would be to create the paychecks. Okay. Well, we're not printing paychecks, but you can continue to do this as it says in step 13 on page 1133. You're going to have to remember to do his payroll for check date on March 1st, then on March 15th, and then March 29th for those different 2-week payroll periods. So you just follow that. Then you're going to move on to print the payroll journal entries, and you can find those under reports, accounting, and taxes. Okay, and you hit the journal, and I don't have these done because I didn't do all this, but I'm just showing you where you're going to need to go and follow the transactions. When you do the payroll journal, remember you want to filter it to just the transaction type of the paycheck. We don't need the whole journal, we just want the paycheck journal. Okay, then you're going to pay the liabilities, and to pay the liabilities, we'll close out of here. Look, on the home page again, pay your liabilities. Okay, follow the instructions there through the next few pages, and then you can print your payroll reports. Do not forget you're going to have to print payroll liabilities check 409 for the month of March. You're going to pay on April 10th. Once you finish these next couple of pages, you have finished chapter 11, and you've finished everything you need for this course. except for the final exam. There will be a study guide coming and the final exam, which must be taken in a proctored 7. Good luck with Chapter 11.